We're going to start with this one. So this remember I said we're going to do a practice submission. So well, the reason is actually only one student actually from both classes successfully tried this one. So the reason is basically this still unfamiliar this tool. So we're going to kind of get used to that. So this example is uh, from the looks of it exactly similar to the programming assignment, this one um, you have. Okay, so it's just the exactly like question in same format. You just have to change the values and things in your code when you submit the programming assignment. So it's a good practice. Okay, so let's do that. Okay, so could you all open this one? It's published in module 4. Okay, practice code check. Right, it will be in extra credit category. Okay, so you learn extra credit when you do so. Okay, so let's open this one, practice code check. Okay, it's in module 4. All right. So how do we go to the assignment? It's similar to SciBook, right? We click on that big button down below. So click on that. Okay. All right. First thing you have to do is for this instruction on the top, right? So you have to grab the LMS ID, right? So we did that last week, right? But here also we're going to do that. So there's this thing over here, but we don't have more than one question, so you will not have to navigate to questions. Okay, so we're gonna go over here, and then this is my instructor view, so I will not see the my uh, LMS ID over here, but I'm gonna copy paste this from mine. Okay, so what you will have to do is replace this 3 dot with your own name and with your own LMS ID. This is really important, guys. Okay, the reason is this tool, unlike SciBook, do not know your name. Okay, so only way that we can recognize that this is your code is when you submit this one. Otherwise, it will not be visible to us. Okay, so we will not know that this is your code or someone else. So this is important to have, because that's when our TAs and I can go in and check your code and then submit. Okay, so all right, so all right. So next step is basically we're going to follow umpire technique. Okay, and to solve the problem. Okay, so first thing we'll follow those in here as well. So like let me explain the structure a little bit. Okay, so the umpire in the umpire technique, understand is not required. Okay, but I highly recommend it. Okay, so but we will do it now today together. Okay, same for the match, the next step in umpire process. You will recall something similar that you did, and then you write it down explicitly. All right, plan is required. Okay, so you will have to write your plan, and then what we will do is actually our TAs will go and check whether you have written the plan. Okay, if you have not written the plan, then we'll actually deduct 2 points from your code check reported points. Okay, because code check it's not an intelligent tool, it cannot check your plan. Okay, so it's not a human, right, or AI. So it'll grade you, and then you may get all 10 points, 100%. But if you still don't have the plan, we will deduct 2 points. Okay, all right. So it's basically, the thing is, it's a great programming habit if you design your solution first. Okay, so we're going to get into that and learn how to do that in this class, so we should practice that. Okay, and then that's what professionals do as well. They plan ahead before implementation, right? Okay, so that's that. And then you will see over here implement. So basically that's where you actually implement do the implementation, like write your code. And then over here in the main you can see that it's actually review. Review is a basically testing process. So and then we do that in the main program. So that also include collecting inputs. Okay, all right. And then the last step is the evaluate. Evaluate it basically, once your code running, you run, and then you basically evaluate your result. And then there are other things that you can do to improve your code. So that's evaluate step. Okay. Okay. So all right. So now let's solve this problem. Okay. So first thing is to basically figure out the, and then you can see that there are examples given, right? So I'm going to go back to over here. There's a couple of examples over here. Okay. All right. Okay. So and you will see that think yeah. All right. Let's recall what we did in umpire technique last week, right? So we first figure out the inputs, right? Okay. So and then it's sometimes it may be hidden somewhere in the problem statement. So it's good to isolate that. Okay. So first thing I would do is inputs. Basically, so what are the inputs in this problem? Inputs. No. Yeah. So first name, last name, title, and then the section, right? So because we are printing a name tag. Okay. So it's, here's a problem statement. Yeah. Yeah. So that next symbol before first, do we have to include that? Yeah, we're going to get into that in a moment. Yes. Okay. So basically, we have to collect those inputs, right? First, so I'm going to write first, last, and then title, right? And then the section. So these are the inputs. Okay. So usually, the inputs in this particular question, the input itself is a kind of key vocabulary verb that you will see in the problem statement, right? So what are the words recognizing inputs usually? Word given, right, recognizes an input, right? Provided recognizes an input, right? Those are some keywords. There may be others. Okay. So it's good to use in them. We recognize what are the inputs given. Okay. All right. Okay. All right. So next one, basically, what should be the next one in understanding? Yeah, what are we outputting, right? So output. So the thing is basically in a problem statement, these two things, the input output, may be hidden, right? So if we explicitly isolate them, it's going to help us. Okay. So output basically, what are we outputting? Yeah, so it's basically the name tag, right? That's the printer name tag is the output. Okay. All right. All right. Always when do couple of examples. Okay. So to save time, I'm going to actually copy paste what I have given. Okay. So like this one. and that's the these are the inputs, okay, like things we have to do in our code. All right, so make sure this in everything you write in your understand, they have to be actually comment out, guys. Okay, so this is what we have to do, and then we have to print this one, right? So this kind of the formatting that actually we need. Okay, I think I made a mistake there, guys. It should be like this one only. Okay, it's a typo, sorry. um I'll fix that later. Okay, so we'll have to do this, right? Yeah, sorry, name tag, and then yeah, it's good to work out couple of examples. Always do that. Okay, so it's gonna give you like a basic, it's gonna give you like a basic way to solve the problem, right? When you work out example, because your code need to do that. So you are working it out right now, but your code need to do that, right? So that's gonna give you a good intuition. Okay, all right. Okay, so now, so match is the recall process. Okay, so I ask yourself, have I encountered this earlier, right? So in the past. Okay, and since we are just beginning to solve coding problem in this class, we don't have many, right? So in our memory bank, which is fine. If you have at least a concept that you can learn, write it down as well. So in here we'd have to use input, right? So I would write input. For now it's enough. Okay, because we're going to use input function to collect some input, and then use it, right? So it doesn't have to be a complete problem that we solved in the past, just a concept also helpful that you'd think, okay, will be applicable here. Okay, all right. Okay, so all right, so now the planning process. Okay, so we have to, first thing we have to do is we have to collect this input. Okay, so input, I would write input. Okay, all of these. Okay, all right, and two, right, we have to print this one, right? Okay, so this is the output, right? So this is the output, right? So then that means we have to basically so this is the output actually. So um, you have to print this. So I'm going to write print, and it doesn't need to be like exactly what I write. I mean, you can think of the way that you want to follow as well, but make sure it's actually the correct solution. Okay, because if it is not, then you are translating into a wrong solution, right? So don't let that happen, guys. Okay, so after you are done the planning, make sure go over it, and make sure it is actually correct and straightforward, and also not vague. So we're going to print this, right? Okay, and then we're going to print this form, right? So basically the last name, first name, title, and then that part. Okay, so print last, right, first, and then title, and then section, right? Like this, and that's basically the section, right? So okay, so you have to print like that. Okay, All right. One other thing, guys. Okay, I will give you 3 lines in this code, right? I forgot how many I have given you in the programming assignment, but you will see few lines, empty lines. But let's say if you want more, you can always hit enter key and get empty lines. Okay, and make sure if it is a plan, make sure write it after like this. Okay, like 4 here. Okay, all right. Or if you do not want a extra line from me, right, then you can basically, let's say you only need 2 lines, you can delete the other one. Okay, all right. So you have freedom to do those, so you can explore what you can do in there. Okay, all right. So the plan is ready. Now we can write our code. One thing is, right, so this is really important, guys. So I have given some text. Also there's a, I think there's a, is it this in this class, there was a good discussion in the general Q&A forum, but it's about this. So this is really important. Okay, remember, right, so think about the bread machine example, right. So right, when you about to make a bread, right, who has the ingredients? You, right, you have the ingredient, right, and then we pour them into the bread machine from the top, right. So that means basically um, the user, right, user has the access to data as well as to the result, the output, right. So basically that means like I mean bread machine doesn't come with the set inputs, right. So we actually provide those input from its interface, right. So it's the same thing we have to do here. So and then other thing is in any programming language, right, user runs the main program, whoever the tester or the user runs the main program. So that means in this class you are all three: the engineer who write code, the user, sorry, the tester who test code, and then the user who use code. Okay, so you have to be all three at the correct time. Okay, so in main program you are running, you are using or testing your code, so that's where you should collect your input. All right, so that means do not use input function inside your function inside right here. Okay, it has to be isolated from, we'll see, like it has to be isolated from both input and output, but later on today we will actually output in our function, but starting this week we will actually return our value and then we'll print it in the main program. Okay, all right. So all right, so basically we will it's like thinking, right, so you have your ingredient on your countertop, and then you put them into the bread machine from the top. Okay, and that's in the first line, right, see that. So inputs to your function should come in as they are, as parameters, not via input function. We're going to use input function in the main program to collect them from the keyboard. Okay, so let's do that for now. Okay, so I'm going to write, so we need these variables, right, these are the first, so this is the first name, right, equals, you guys should follow me. Okay, and then Bridget and Shole, could you guys make sure they get this first. So what are we using? Yeah, so this assignment I already have it. So yes, input, right, input, right, input, and we need the prompt. Let's say I'm going to write first, right, all right, and then I'm going to follow the same pattern, so I'm going to write it for 3 more, right. So this is, if you want, guys, if you want, you can actually put this into your plan as well, which is fine. Okay, but I usually focus on planning my function only. Okay, So that's why, that's hence my plan is like this. Okay. All right. So I'm gonna change this to now second. Make sure the indentation, guys. Okay, over here you can see that. So we are writing this code. This code belong to this main function. So align this first letter of your first code in your function to the first letter of your function name, which is m here. Okay, in main. Okay, so that's the requirement in Python. In other words, right here, this should be 4 spaces, 1, 2, 3, 4. Okay, so code check follow uses actually spaces instead of tabs. Okay, so use 4 spaces to indent to your code that belong to the function, and then that will actually align the first letter of your first code line into the first letter of the function name. Okay.
Are we calling the second name last name in the?
Yeah. So sorry, I think, yeah, you're right. So it's last. Yeah. So this should be last, right? Thanks. All right. Now I can continue, right? So I'm gonna paste, and then this should be title, right? Sorry. It should be sorry guys. This should be all small letters. We're gonna learn it in week 6 actually. The variables and expressions lesson. So don't start your variable names with the big letter in Python. There's a specific use that you will learn in a future class actually. Okay. So title, and then section. Sorry, before we get into the section, I think I we need to ask this. Um, so one other thing I should mention is that this code is kind of like designed in a exact similar way that I expect in the programming assignment. Okay, so I'm going to follow that. Okay, so otherwise there are multitude of ways to get these inputs. Okay, but I am following that I ask you guys in the programming assignment so that you can actually get this experience and easily translate that into doing that one. Okay, again, because this is your first. Okay, yes.
So I had a question about the input command. Is that we're saying first equals input, and then we're gonna print that first with a parenthesis, and then it's gonna have the input. Because we're not typing print, but when we put input.
Yeah, so input will in the actual command line, input will print that and then waiting for the input actually.
But it's implied. Are we gonna define our inputs as first, last, and title? So it's gonna know for input.
Yeah.
It prints what you have in the quotation marks, and then it is followed by the input.
Yeah, so basically what we are doing over here is that, so we are assigning the inputting value, for example this one, to first.
Okay.
So first will be the input that we typed in the keyboard, but in this one you will not type it anything because code check will do it for you when you run the code check. Okay, got it? So you will not have to actually, when you run, you will not have to, you will not get a place to type it out.
Oh, I see.
Okay.
No, yes. So this is what it's. Um, that's like the interface part where it's gonna type, it's gonna show me first with a colon, and then it's gonna, the input command allows them to type something.
Yes, yeah. So but code check will do that for you. Yeah. Okay. All right. Okay. So now we basically need to, so over here you can see that in this tag, right? So we have to print this one, right? What is your section, right? So what I am going to do is I am going to print it over here. Okay, print. Okay, all right. And then look what, so this again because the same way that I asked in the actual programming assignment. Okay, so now I am going to read the section just in a plain one. Okay, so just like this. Okay, because my prompt is on the top. Okay, see that over here I have the prompt, right? So I don't have to put it back inside input again. Okay, so that's intentional, guys. Okay, because to show you guys, okay, you can do this way as well. Okay, all right. All right. So so main part is now done. So now what left is the rest of the way we are printing the name tag. So that part is actually function. That's what we are solving, printing a name tag, right? So we are formatting a name tag, right? So that is in the example output. It should have this format. So we're gonna basically follow that. Okay. So whenever you write function again, right? So you have to, so 1 space, 2 space, 3 space, 4. So now it's pretty much will align to the first letter of the function name. So this we call the function header, guys. So in this week we are going to learn more about functions. Okay. So but the learn the names actually called the header. Okay. And here, right, I have to first print this one, right? So name tag, right? So I'm going to print that. So basically I'm going to, so the first line is now we are basically translating this into code in our function. The first line is already I have given to you, right? So translation of step number 1 in my code is given is line 49. So later on I will also take that out as well once we get comfortable. Okay, so but this is our first time writing this, so I have given you the translation of the first line, so it's already there. You can see that, right? Input first last title section. See that I'm inputting those things into my function via the bracket. Okay, all right. So then basically over here I'm going to do this print name tag, right? So print, follow me, guys. Okay, so we're gonna get this done and I'm gonna make sure all of you have the same. Okay, and then without errors. All right. So that's step 2. Step 3, you're gonna print in this order, right? Okay, so I may even copy paste my from my plan. It's totally okay, right? I would not prefer, like, if you have code also in the in your plan. But you know, Python is really close to English, right? You may sometimes compel to have you copy paste your code into the plan. Don't do that. We first plan and then code, right? So so I'm gonna, but if you like it this way, sometimes you may be even able to, you know, copy paste your values into your code as well. Okay, all right. Okay, all right. I think we are now ready to test. So function is done. Okay, so I think we miss one thing, but we can try out running this one. Okay, and we'll see the difference. Okay, so so let's try out. So I'm gonna make sure everyone has typed some code, and then we are ready to go. Good, 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 good.
Where should I go to open this thing?
Oh, it's in module 4. Bridget, can you help him? Yeah. Yeah, practice code check. Practice code check. That,
Okay.
yeah. Oops, sorry. All right, so let me run this code. All right, so there's a error, right? Okay, so whenever you get an error, so it's not the end of the world, right? So investigate what's going on. Okay, so usually in expectation in software industries, even an expert will never solve it from the get go. Okay, so it's saying that you have to input that way. See, I input just first, right? So I have to have first name. Okay, so I'm gonna put first name over here. Okay, all right. Oops, sorry. That's what it's saying. Okay, why it is that way? Because I set some test cases in my code check setup to test that. Okay, so make the student use that way in the main program. So it's actually, so we have it in main, but it's a little bit off, so we're gonna correct that. Okay,
But were we just supposed to know that, or is that up higher on the?
so you can actually read it from there, right? So that's yeah.
For sure. So it's just saying, hey, it's just there's no information on here where we could say, hey, he wants us to use first name instead of first.
I usually ask that one. I'm not sure. Maybe this one I may have missed it, but usually I ask. Okay, you have to use it this way.
Okay.
Okay, all right. But you can see that it's actually expecting this way, right? I think. Oh, it should be name like this. Okay, all right. The same for the last name, right? So we're gonna change that last name. Okay. Same for the title. Okay, so I made a mistake there, right? Okay. All right, and I think TITL, and you can see that, right? This is like not an intelligent tester, right? So that's one of the reason. Okay, all right. So now what? No syntax errors. So it's actually now code is running. Okay, now let's see whether the output are matching or not. Okay, all right, it's not, right? And you can see that this actual means this is what your code outputs. Okay, and this is what I set in code check. Okay, and you can see that that's not matching, right? So we're going to fix that now. Okay, so so basically I need to print that line. I see that there's a missing line, an entire missing line, right? What are your name tag details is missing, right? So let's put that one. Okay, so I'm gonna copy this, and then just I need to print over here, right?
Yeah.
So
There.
yeah, print. So that's kind of the, sorry. All right, so let's run, you can run it again now. So you'll see that that one is now matching. See that it's now matching, right? So this side to this side. So now we need to fine tune the second line. Third line is matching, right? So basically what's missing? It's actually the question mark, right? Yeah, so I have question mark, but I actually have the colon over there. Okay, so basically I'm going to change into that. First name, last name. So section, okay. Um, this should be not question mark. It's actually yeah, this one. So let's check that. All right. So that's also now the output, actually the function output is a little bit off, right? So it has to have comma. I think there's a typo there, but that's fine, right? So this should have been, this comma should have been right here, but it's off a little bit. So you have to format that way, right? So you're going to change that now, and then that will be it, right? So over here in our function we need to put a comma, right? So how do we print the comma? How do you put a comma there? How do we print it?
Put it in quotation mark.
Yeah, quotation mark, and yes, you're right. So quotation mark and comma and space, right? I think I have to put one space over here because we have that over here, right? Okay, let's try this one. Oh, there's a syntax error. Oh, I think I didn't. I have to put a comma over here, right? To be comma. See that? So one. So this is another opportunity, guys. Okay, it's saying that syntax error in line 51. So go to line 51, right? So right here. So this is the missing comma. So I just put it. Sometimes when you get a error, it's code check has this feature. It might actually give you say that you know you have a error in a line that I have given to you. It's not that actually I made a mistake. It basically there's a mistake in the vicinity of your that line. So that means closest line in your code have a mistake. You may get that one again, guys. Okay, sometimes code check says that okay, there's a syntax error or there's some error in one of my line, but that means there's a mistake in the closest vicinity, closest your line. Okay, so take a look around that, please. Okay, so it's kind of a little bit unpredictable, but in this one it's correctly saying that it's line 51. So you go to line 51 and explore what's going wrong in line 51. I missed this comma, so I put it there. Now it should work. Okay, see that? So it's really important that you actually digest what it's telling you the error wise, and you can Google them, right? You can clearly go back to the line and recheck it, right? All this has to be done before you ask any help, right? Because you got to be ready to struggle with your own code few times before you seek help. Okay, and it's kind of the norm in software development, right? So be ready to do that, guys. Okay, all right, so code check. All right, it's so that's it. It worked. So all tests pass. See that over here, 3 out of 3 tests pass. So that means you get 10 points. And when you submit in Canvas will also auto, like it will submit the auto graded points to Canvas, and you will get the 10 points. Okay. All right. So now I'm gonna make sure all of you has this.
So, which are
Yeah. So did you run it?
I
Go.
did, but I have an error.
All right. Use input first name. See that we have input input first. Yeah. So
Right.
you have a capital, right? So that's
Yeah.
see that it should be simple. See the
So it,
NA
so
N
I need
should be,
to cap. So it's
yeah.
cap
See that?
sensitive.
No, no. It's this is like it should be like this. First name, all simple, right? See that over here?
Mm-hmm.
First name. You had name in capital, right? So just change that. Yeah. Same for last name. Yeah. All right. How about you? Got it? Okay. Syntax error. Read the line 51. There's a mistake. So
Let's try right here.
yeah. So line 51. So right. So you missed a comma. That's why. So we put a quotation mark, right? But you didn't close it, right? So you put the comma in there. So follow me. Okay, look, let me ask you. Follow me. See what I have.
Okay, I see that.
Okay.
Oh yeah, this is the part I didn't get
Yeah.
right here.
How's it going? Okay. Cool.
And then I'm on. I keep getting a. I'm in like 50. I'm not
Okay.
sure.
So go down. Go down. Go down. So let's read it. Unterminated string literal detected. Okay. So go there. That means you didn't see that. You put this comma. So the quotation that's wrong, right? This should be a variable name. So remove that.
This one.
Yeah. No. Remove only the quotation mark.
Okay.
See that this one is closed,
Right.
and there had to be a comma after between quotations, right?
Right. And then
Yeah.
comma.
Yeah, and remove that comma.
Oh, wait,
Yeah.
this one. Okay.
Yeah.
Oh, I see.
Yeah. Okay. Now you're good. Try now.
Oh.
You're good, right?
Yeah.
Yeah. I mean, I can tell you that.
Yeah, I did it
All right.
before you.
Yeah.
I don't have it yet.
Yeah, he might need it. Thank you. Yeah.
Okay, I'm switching
All right.
clothes.
Okay.
I've tried a couple things
Mhm.
trying to fix this space.
Yeah. So let's see what's the change. Okay. So you have section 3. Let's go
I have
there.
an extra space in between.
No, that's not the case. So go zoom out. Section 3. Yeah, so there's extra space in between. Yeah, so you have to put one. Yeah. All right.
And another,
Yeah, so that means you have to now fix this, right?
I did.
So first name. That's syntax error now. You put, see that you can't do a colon. You can't put a colon outside of bracket, right? So that's wrong. Yeah. All right. Now you can compare output and
Okay.
change the code. All right. Did you get it? Did you get it?
Yeah, I got it.
Oh, nice. Cool. Cool. Okay. How about you?
Yeah, I got it.
Okay. Good. Good. How's it going? Shall we change it?
I don't know what's
No, basically now the program is running. It's just these two are not matching, right? So this, see that it need to be like this.
Yeah.
So this is expected, but this is actual. So you are printing it like this. So you have to have this. You have to have print over here. You have to print this one first. So can you print it? Print this line first. Okay. Got it? So now it works? Oh yeah, yeah, you pass all the tests, yeah. So basically you have to match what I said, your output to what I said. And it will, if it's not matching, then it will show you down below. So make sure do that. Okay. All right.
Can I see what you have for the understand? Because I think I missed some of the.
Okay.
Can you just scroll up?
Oh yeah, sure, sure. Scroll up or scroll down.
Up a little more. Okay, cool. So you just got.
Got it?
Well, this is unrelated. This is more to the play IO homework. When I do the
Mhm.
code, I get an indentation error on line 60. Is that supposed to happen?
No, it doesn't.
Or am I
So
wrong?
basically,
Am I wrong?
line 60 means, see that you are off. See that
Yeah.
P should be, see that you are off one space, right?
Oh,
So all of these need to be like that.
oh,
Yeah.
okay.
Yeah. All right.
Okay, so you need a question mark right there.
Okay.
Now you know what to do, right? So you basically adjust. Yeah.
No, you need a like little dash right there.
Oh, yeah.
That's it for this one?
That's it for this one? That adds it in automatically. So
okay.
so you can see that when it has a name that it
Um,
fills in. So I had a not
Yeah.
like a question,
Yeah.
but just so I did my birthday assignment, but
Mhm.
then I was coming up as because this
Yeah. So this is indentation error, right? See that they are not aligned.
yeah no, but what I'm saying is that this is a regular tab. So like I was starting at this.
Oh, that's wrong, right? Because it has to be
Yeah,
inside.
I
Yeah.
was starting, and if I tab it all up,
Mhm.
then it comes out with that error message.
No, it will be gone now.
But so what I had to do
Yeah.
was
Don't use tab.
okay,
Code check uses 4 spaces.
Okay.
In code check, don't
Okay.
use tab. Yeah.
cool,
Yeah.
awesome, yeah, because then I
Yeah.
put an
You
extra
have to,
space.
yeah,
and
extra
it
space.
got
Yeah.
it. Cool.
Yeah, guys, code check uses in Python you can use either one tab or 4 spaces as the indentation, but code check only use 4 spaces. Okay, so use 4 spaces. Okay, I think it's because it's a browser based IDE. and that's why tab may goes other places, right? That's why. All right. So everyone got it right. So I'm gonna move on to the lesson, guys. Okay. So let's say I want to, and you can see over here, guys, right? So, um, like to print the tab, we cannot simply use T, right? So let's say you want to print a tab, right? We cannot use T because letter T is T, right? So, and then the way we do is we basically put this symbol, which we call the backslash, as the escaping mechanism. So we basically put that, and when you use that, we can tab it nicely. Okay. So I'm gonna, all right, I'm going to type. I'm gonna print. Let's say I want print name, and then I want to tab the after next line, right? Print. So this is what I. So basically, imagine I want to tab it out to the left, to the right. So I can use backslash T, right? And then I can put my name like indica. Okay. So if you run it, okay.
Are we in Zybush right now?
Yeah, we started lesson. Yes. Yeah. See that? So this is the tabbing, right? So I tabbed it, and then you can print tabs like that. Okay. All right. So and then you can see that if I remove the backslash, it's T, right? So it will print T, right? Okay. So now imagine, so we call this process escaping. So we basically escaping this character to print something else, like in this case a tab, right? Can be a new line, right? So slash n for new line, right? It can be other. There's a bunch of others as well. Uh, so if we want to put the backslash itself, right? And then you have to use one more along with. Like for example, imagine I want to print this whole path, right? This is Windows, right? So so if I try to print it, right, like this, and you will see that it won't work. Okay, and this is an error, right? Why this is an error? Yeah. So that's backslash actually. Yeah. All right. So forward slash is the other one. So and you cannot print directly them like this. So you have to escape them. So one way to fix this is, so this is an error. So I'm gonna mark this and then block it, and we're gonna print it. So what do we have to do? We have to escape them. So we have to put a one more in front of it. Okay. Oh, after this one, we're gonna get our break, guys. Okay. Um, all right, and you can see that this works, right? Because I escape it, now it actually print the path. Okay, but there's an easier way to do that, which is you can put simply R in front. Okay, so you can put, without all these changes, you can put R. Now it will actually print as well. Okay, so we call that row string. So basically what it will do, it will print as it is, row string. R means row string. So by with that this R, we are saying that Python take the subsequent string as a row string. So print it as it is. Okay. All right. So let's get our break, guys. Be here at 12 by 12:10. Okay.
So for the birthday, and this is
Mhm.
true for the other one too.
Mhm.
So Sean pointed out to me that I had actually repeated this because this is the part that's where this is the output. This is
Yeah. That's the output.
and then this is getting our ingredients.
Yeah. Yeah.
And
Yeah.
so in both we're defining, and so these are both functions.
Yeah. So main is actually, so the basically you write a function to solve your problem, which is this one. Main is a standard. So that's where everyone test and then collect data and test and then run their program. Okay.
Cool.
But it's also a function like this, DEF, but it's kind of a standard pattern.
Okay.
Okay.
Because I think
So
yeah.
basically, this entire format, like starting from here to here, is basically a single Python app. We call a single Python app. Right?
Cool.
So you are getting used to that standard that industry also uses.
Okay. Cool.
Yeah.
And then I fell a little bit behind towards the end. So this is we're just talking about raw strings and how to use.
Yeah. So
raw
we
strings.
started. We end last week on 4.5, right, section. We just started from there.
Okay. Great. Thank you.
Yeah, there you go. All right, it's published, guys. It's in module 5. Okay. So the power of grid. So let's watch this one. It's in module 5. Okay.
When I was 27 years old, I left a very demanding job in management consulting for a job that was even more demanding, teaching. I went to teach 7th graders math in the New York City public schools. And like any teacher, I made quizzes and tests, I gave out homework assignments. When the work came back, I calculated grades. What struck me was that IQ was not the only difference between my best and my worst students. Some of my strongest performers did not have stratospheric IQ scores. Some of my smartest kids weren't doing so well. And that got me thinking. The kinds of things you need to learn in 7th grade math, sure, they're hard. Ratios, decimals, the area of a parallelogram. But these concepts are not impossible. And I was firmly convinced that every one of my students could learn the material if they worked hard and long enough. After several more years of teaching, I came to the conclusion that what we need in education is a much better understanding of students and learning from a motivational perspective, from a psychological perspective. In education, the one thing we know how to measure best is IQ. But what if doing well in school and in life depends on much more than your ability to learn quickly and easily? So I left the classroom and I went to graduate school to become a psychologist. I started studying kids and adults in all kinds of super challenging settings. And in every study, my question was, who is successful here and why? My research team and I went to West Point Military Academy. We tried to predict which cadets would stay in military training and which would drop out. We went to the National Spelling Bee and tried to predict which children would advance farthest in competition. We studied rookie teachers working in really tough neighborhoods, asking which teachers are still going to be here in teaching by the end of the school year. And of those, who will be the most effective at improving learning outcomes for their students? We partnered with private companies asking which of these salespeople is going to keep their jobs and who's going to earn the most money. In all those very different contexts, one characteristic emerged as a significant predictor of success. And it wasn't social intelligence, it wasn't good looks, physical health, and it wasn't IQ. It was grit. Grit is passion and perseverance for very long-term goals. Grit is having stamina. Grit is sticking with your future, day in, day out, not just for the week, not just for the month, but for years, and working really hard to make that future a reality. Grit is living life like it's a marathon, not a sprint. A few years ago, I started studying grit in the Chicago public schools. I asked thousands of high school juniors to take grit questionnaires, and then waited around more than a year to see who would graduate. Turns out that grittier kids were significantly more likely to graduate, even when I matched them on every characteristic I could measure. Things like family income, standardized achievement test scores, even how safe kids felt when they were at school. So it's not just at West Point or the National Spelling Bee that grit matters, it's also in school, especially for kids at risk for dropping out. To me, the most shocking thing about grit is how little we know, how little science knows about building it. Every day, parents and teachers ask me, how do I build grit in kids? What do I do to teach kids a solid work ethic? How do I keep them motivated for the long run? The honest answer is, I don't know. What I do know is that talent doesn't make you gritty. Our data show very clearly that there are many talented individuals who simply do not follow through on their commitments. In fact, in our data, grit is usually unrelated or even inversely related to measures of talent. So far, the best idea I've heard about building grit in kids is something called growth mindset. This is an idea developed at Stanford University by Carol Dweck, and it is the belief that the ability to learn is not fixed, that it can change with your effort. Dr. Dweck has shown that when kids read and learn about the brain and how it changes and grows in response to challenge, they're much more likely to persevere when they fail because they don't believe that failure is a permanent condition. So growth mindset is a great idea for building grit, but we need more. And that's where I'm going to end my remarks, because that's where we are. That's the work that stands before us. We need to take our best ideas, our strongest intuitions, and we need to test them. We need to measure whether we've been successful, and we have to be willing to fail, to be wrong, to start over again with lessons learned. In other words, we need to be gritty about getting our kids grittier. Thank you.
All right, guys. All right, so let's go back to our lesson. So we were over here, I think. All right, so all right, this is called the row string. Okay, so now what if, so do we have, can we do the same with this here with row string? Let's check it out. Okay, and you will see that it's as it is, right? So if we put r over here, it will now not escape, right? It will put just /t. Okay, all right. Okay, so let's go back. Okay, I'm gonna continue. All right. Okay, I think, oh, before that, I think we just yeah, we're gonna start, like we kind of already know what input function is, so, but this is the formally we are going to start it, right? I am going to, I think I can, yeah, let's show it. Let's do it over here. That's fine. In the previous class, I actually showed it in the command line, but that's fine. So I'm gonna get an input from user, right? So we can use the input function. One thing is really, I want to press that. Okay, do not get confused with these two things. One is input to your function, and then input function itself. Totally, completely two different things. Okay, so, and then in beginner classes, I have seen many students, even all the way to the end of the semester, when they just see the input, they tend to use input function, which is just one way of getting the input. That's all from the keyboard. Okay, so it's not the complete picture. Okay, so I'm gonna input x from keyboard, so I'm gonna use input function. Okay, so all right, and then if I do this, okay, and you can see that there's no prompt, right? And if I do this actually in command line, right, so like this, perhaps I have it in history, right? See that it's just blinking cursor, but it's expecting a keyboard input from me. Now it's waiting now, okay. So you enter this and then 20, and then if you check the value of x, it's there, right? So we're gonna say do the same, but since Colab is a browser based thing, it will actually show you a box to enter, okay. So I'm gonna put 20, right? All right, so now if I print x, right, and then you will see it, okay. So rerun, all right, so 20, and you can see this 20 is the one that actually printed, okay. All right, so well, there's some, so if you see, we see it over here, right, it was not that convenient because user don't see what to do, what to do, right? So and that means we better put a prompt inside, right? So this is the advice, right? So whenever you input, you better have a prompt, okay. So I'm gonna put like enter x, okay. Now if I run this one, now this is much clear, right? So I will, yeah, that's fine. So 20, right? So if I check x, will have this, okay. All right, so that we call this one the prompt, okay. So let's go back, okay. All right, so now, so we know what that means. So I'm gonna basically can actually do it over here. Actually, I'm gonna put a prompt and print, but I'll add a prompt over here, enter x, all right, and see that you also see it over here as well, right? Okay, all right. So now my question is, what is the type of x? All right, anyone? Yes, it's actually string, okay. But how do we verify whether it's a string or integer?
There's like a check type.
Yeah, type function, right? So you can use the type function, right? Let's try that now, right? So I'm going to use print, right, type, and then type of x, right? All right, I'm going to put 20, okay, and you can see that it's actually string type or text. This is text type. Even though the value I entered 20 just a number, its type it's actually text, not a number, right? So pretty much you cannot do any math with this, okay. So how do we then, okay, so then, well, I mean, I collected the number from keyboard, turns out it's not a number, it's it's text. How do I convert it to a number then? Oh, how do I enter inputs then? Yes. Yep. Okay. Yeah, and same answer you had, right? Yeah. So you use type conversion function, right? So basically, so this is a string. Now we're gonna basically do same thing, but here, so I'm gonna verify again, guys. So instead of this, I'm gonna put int input. Okay. So integer here is int here means it's a type conversion function. So basically what it does, it takes the input as text from your keyboard and then actually pass into int function. It gonna convert that text text form number into just a value number. Okay.
Does that mean you get an error message if the user put in letters?
There you go. Yes, that's a good catch actually. Yeah, we're gonna get into that shortly. Okay. Yes. So this will now see that it's as int. Okay. All right. So I'm gonna x20. Right. So I'm gonna enter again. Right. So now you can see that it's actually integer. Okay. So not just integer. You can convert it to like float by floating point. Right. So if you use that, it'll be I'm gonna take that for the, I'm gonna take that code into next box actually. All right. So all right. So say 20 again, and you can see that it's a floating point number. See, it's 20.0. So it's float type, floating point. Okay. Any question? So this is how you can verify or check the type of your own variables or values. Okay. All right. You can use the type function, but remember, right? Keyboard input always, as it is, going to be string type. Okay. All right. So makes sense, right? Because keyboard is typing thing, right? So you enter text from keyboard, right? Not numbers, though it's we have access to numbers, right? All right. All right. So let's move on. So that's what we covered over here, guys. Type conversion. Okay. So I'm going to I think we did enough practice. I'm gonna go to the next section. So let's go over errors. All right. So there are few types of errors. So first one is we're going to discuss syntax error. So basically, syntax error means you are making a mistake in the grammar of the language. Okay, syntax, right? It's like you are making mistakes in expressing English language, right? So there's a certain order that we follow, right? And then if you make a mistake in that, we say it's a grammatical error, right? So similar kind of. So basically, your program would not run if it face a syntax error, right? So but it actually will point you where it is, right? So let's run this code and then see what it is. Okay. So over here, I'm going to copy paste this. I think this should be, yeah, I put the wrong one, but I'll change that. Don't worry about it. Okay, so if you run this one, and you can see that there's a syntax error, right? Why it is syntax error? Because these two code lines are together, right? So they have to have in a say two separate lines. So we change it like this, and then the syntax error will be gone. Okay. All right. Okay. All right, so read about good coding practices. Okay, so that include expressive naming, all the stuff, right? All right, so runtime errors. So runtime errors basically your code works, code running, but during the runtime, it's going to crash. Okay, so let's try out this example, guys. Okay, you can see in this example, right? If I run this code, right, and then enter like you said, right, enter non-numeric value, let's say my name, right, now it's basically trying to convert it to integer, which we can't do that, right? So this is text, right? How do we, like, there's no way to convert this to a integer, right? So if I enter this one, it's actually going to complain it's a value error. Okay, so value error is a type of runtime error, basically saying that you Python is expecting a different value, but I entered invalid value basically. Okay, so it's a value error. Okay. All right. So
So runtime errors will always have to do with the input from the user.
no. There are other places where, like, like type error, that can be a runtime error, name error, right? Yeah. Indentation error, it's a type of syntax error. Okay. Yeah. So these are some there are a lot of error types, but these are some few common ones. Okay. So syntax error is when you make a grammatical mistake, like syntax mistake. Indentation error is also a type of syntax error when you actually not properly put indentation. So it's a sort of a subset setup, right? And the value error, invalid value is used. Okay. Name error, basically, this is also really common, right? Like you guys are experienced today. Actually, some of you guys experience name errors because you you used all simple letters for the, let's say, first name, and then you actually, some of you actually access the variable with the first letter capitalized. So now it's different, right? So it's not there now, right? So it's actually a name error. So basically, variable not exist. Okay. Type error, basically, Python is expecting a different type to the type that it's actually evaluates. Okay.
So a name error is considered a runtime error?
It's, you can actually, no, I'd say it's a syntax error. Yeah. Yeah. Okay. Because basically it comes to that, and it's not there. It doesn't work the code at that point. Okay. All right. All right. So logical errors. What is the logical error basically?
It's when you write the code correctly, but within everything passes, there's no errors.
Mhm.
But from within, you have something wrong, like multiplying times 5 instead of adding plus 5.
Okay. Yeah. Yeah. Basically, the semantics, right? So your code runs, no syntax error, no runtime error, right? But you will not get the expected value. So that means there's a mistake in the logic of your solution, right? So logical errors are usually the hard to catch because code runs, right? It doesn't tell you where it's a mistake or anything. So you'll have to basically analyze the mechanism of your solution and figure out where it is wrong, right? So basically, logical error means the logic of your code is not working. That means you are not getting the expected output. Okay. All right. And there's an example over here. I think you can simply run it. So this is how this will copy actually. Yeah. So so I think let's see. Yeah. So, and you can see that it's actually wrong, right? The calculation is wrong, right? What's the mistake in the calculation?
It's giving you 500% raise instead of 5%.
Yeah.
0.0059.
Yeah. So so basically what we have to do, so basically how do we correct this? Current salary,
Multiply by 0.05.
we have to divide by 100 also, right? That's it's a percentage, right? So 5%, right? So current salary plus current salary times Percentage means 5 divided by 100, right? So you have to actually divide this either inside or outside, it doesn't matter, right? You have to divide this by 100, right? That's the correct value because it's a percentage. Okay, increase, not 5 times, right? So that's a logical mistake, right? So that's why we call logical errors.
So for logical errors, there's no warning or error sign. It's just
Yeah, so basically you will not see the expected output. So then, yeah. So that's only way you know it. Then you have to basically go through your code and see where it is actually not working. That's why it's the hardest to figure out error actually. Okay. All right, I'm gonna go. So read through this one, guys. We have been using integrated development environment already. Okay. So you can use this too. There are others as well. Okay. So I'm not gonna go over this one. Talks about white space, like we in English we put paragraphs when we write things, right? So to clear things out, same applies here, right? So use vertical white space to put spaces between, and there are some regulation in Python as well on that. So read through this one. So it's about some code formatting. So check out these few examples. There's one here, salary calculation, and then one more, actually the output art. Okay, so you just need to print those patterns. Okay. This one I'm gonna go over this one on Thursday class. Okay, and then we can start the chapter 5. Okay, so yeah, so we're gonna basically go to our discussion today, which is this one. Okay, let me write publish right now. It's the it's coming from this one actually. It's located in the module 4, guys. Okay, because other day we didn't have actually enough time to do that. This one, draw rectangle pattern. Okay, so but I'll make the due date to this week Saturday. Okay, so I just published it. Could you all refresh the module view? It's in module 4. Okay. All right, so read through this. Let me change the due date actually to Saturday. All right, so read through this one and take some time to read, and then pair up and please do it. Okay, pair up and do it. And then over here, guys, let me give you, like, this is just I think there was a confusion in the previous class. This is not what being asked. This is basically what I am telling you. Okay, there are some set of functions that you can use in not in this particular problem, right? Overall in with turtles. Okay, so that's only that. Okay, so there are some example functions, turtle functions that you can actually use with turtle modules. Okay, so don't get confused. Probably my wording also not helping. All right, so here is the solution. Okay, sorry, prompt. Okay, all right, so first thing, we do not think about like this whole pattern for now. Just solve the basic problem, drawing a rectangle. Okay, drawing a rectangle. Then you can think about, okay, how I can use several rectangles together to put out the pattern. Okay. So today task is, okay, how to draw a rectangle. So we have good matches already, right? We have done it for the triangle, we have done it for the square, right? So you have good examples. Okay. All right. Please pair up and do it, guys. Guys, I recommend first solving the problem and then getting the plan. Okay. Let's stick to that. Okay. Do not, temptation is to write code, right, directly. I know. So for some of you, this may be easier because it's a simple problem, right? But what we want to do is getting into that habit of designing the solution first, right? So do not type code. This should be your design process, right? And then you translate it to code. That's more easier if you design. Otherwise, you will brute force a lot. If you directly write code, you will have to do a lot of trial and errors, and that's frustrating. So let's get our plan first, right? The algorithm, the pseudocode in English. Okay. So you still have, like, 12 minutes to get, even draw the square if you want. Sorry, rectangle. But that should be enough for today, right? Remember, we designed our solution when we were drawing the triangle, right? Right. So we started and then collected the inputs, and then move forward by 100, then turn 120. We wrote them down, right? So it's good to write them down. So in this case, we are drawing a rectangle. Yeah. Loop. I recommend not to for now. Well, we are making a case for that. So that's, my intention is, I'm gonna ask you guys to do a manually repeat, and then we're gonna say, okay, okay, this got to be something better than this, because manually means you can automatically do any for any number of, right? So this, and then basically we're gonna introduce for loops and then while loops. So that's gonna happen in week 10 though. So until then, we're gonna, yeah. But it's up to you. But you can. But the thing is, when you assist other students, they may not be ready yet. Yeah. So. Oh yeah, you know it, right? So you can be, but that's fine. Yeah. But I kind of, I want to discourage, like, if you know it, but just hanging there and then, yeah.
I mean, for today, it's a group.
Yeah, yeah.
I'll do it.
Yeah.
And
Yeah. But yeah, we are definitely making a case for that. That's intentional.
Wait time for getting the decisions is so really long.
For the for transfer, right? Transfer. Okay.
I live here until April.
Oh really? Okay. So where did you apply?
I applied to all the UCs
Okay.
except for Santa Barbara.
Okay.
I didn't apply to UC.
UCI.
I did apply to.
Oh, UCI. Okay.
I didn't apply to Riverside and Merced at first,
Okay.
but then they waived my fees for me. So
Oh,
I was like,
nice.
why
Okay.
not?
Why not? Yeah, Merced is good. I mean, it's a nice area. I mean, 1 hour drive you can go to West Yosemite as well. It's a nice area as well. Yeah, it's a small college town.
Mhm.
Yeah.
and then I applied to SF State,
Mhm.
San Jose State, and
Okay.
Cal Poly.
Cal Poly, okay. Yeah, Cal Poly,
San Luis Obispo.
San. Cal Poly Chico also really good. Yeah. So not Chico, sorry, Pomona. Pomona, yeah. Yeah. You will get to Berkeley. That I have a feeling. Yeah. I mean, they value that internship a lot. CCI. Yeah. So those are things they actually look for. Are you're not going out of state then?
No, I considered applying to UOI, but
Okay.
the tuition is so much.
Yeah, and then the first 12 months is out of state tuition, right? Yeah. Yeah. So when you go out of state, yeah. That sounds not good. Well, this time apply to that last mile one. I mean, even they cover tuition, you know. Yeah, and then for girls, so you get, they basically supplement several $1,000s in tuition actually. Yeah, so apply. Yeah, I mean, you don't have to have an internship. It's a separate program. So internship one, yeah, if you get, you are going to see CI again internship. You can also do that, but again, it's they only supplement up to 10,000, but the CCI gives you almost 10,000, right? But still, you can, if it is 9,000, you get that extra 1,000, right? But tuition is a different program, but they support both. Usually, they give everyone that 500. Yeah, if it's a community college students.